Miftzeh Rambam goes on. God bless you all. I hope you had a wonderful Yom Kippur. We're finishing Hilchos Geirushin. The Rambam writes, Al yikshe beinecha, you shouldn't find it difficult. Shetiru chachomim o erva chamura, that chachomim allowed an eishes ish, which it's called erva chamura, be'edis isha, oy eved, oy shivcha, oy goy amasich lefitumay, ve'edi piyet, o mipi aksav, o belay drisha v'chakina. How do they allow an eishes ish to get married on such flimsy heterim of eid mipi eid and eid mipi aksav that never flies? Says the Rambam, when is the Torah makbid? Tishrav all the gedorim in Eides, elo bedover she'einato yochel lamed al burye. That you could never know what happened only mipio eidim ubeidusa. Kigoin sheheidu shezeh horagezeh oyhil v'zeh. Someone who was the killer. This you could never know only about the Eidos. So to be mechayiv someone misa, you need to have two kosher eidim mit chikiris udrishis. Avol dover she'ef shelamed al burye, something you could find out without the Eidos. The person you say died and he walks in, you find out he was a liar. It's dover ha'imid lihigolis. Shalei mipei dazev ein eid yochel lihishomit. Imeina dover emes, you can't say, oh, I thought you're a liar. In such a case, lo hikpido teira lov, the teira said, we can make us a mitzvachar eidus. Because shedover rochiku sheyoid boyoid b'sheket. It's a difficult thing. Why would he lie? Because he knows he could very easily be disproven. Fichoch, the Chachamim said, Mipnei takonis agunis, we're going to allow the flimsiest edus. So we have here in the Rambam really two timing. One time is that it's dover ha'imid lihigolis. Then the Rambam smuggles in another time. Mipnei takonis agunis. So the question is, why both timing? And also there's a big machlekes. There's a big machlekes in the reason why we believe in Eid Echad. If the Torah says, Al pishnayim eidim yokum dover, so only two Eidos are never. How could Chacham make a takonis agunis? We rely on Eidos mipi aksav or Eid Echad that we normally never believe in mokoim erva chamura. So there's a Rashi. Rashi says, Chachomim have a koyach to end the marriage because afkiu rabbonon l'kiddushim minei. In such a situation, the Chachomim have a koyach to be mafkia the kiddush. Dos pshat hakonis agunis. However, Tosfos learns, no. There's an emonis of Eid Echad because it's dover ha'imid lihigolis, like the Rambam says. Since it's the dover ha'imid lihigolis, he's believed. Minatero is believed. So, if we look at this Rambam, You can learn both ways. That's why Taka, it's brought down in the shape Shmaitze. Shmaitze Zayin, Pirik Aleph. Sido de Rivosh, Shailas Rivosh, Simikuf Nun Hei, und the Lechem Mishneh, they learn Pshat in the Rambam that he holds like Teisvus. That was a Pshat in the Rambam, Shalehi Kpido Teiro, and the Teiro is not Makpid, to be Oikir Adovim in a Teiro, because in a Teiro there's an Emonis. However, there's a Maharik and a Tashbates. They say that according to the Rambam, an Eid Echod is Mamish Nemon Min HaTeira. Sorry, so the Rivosh learns they argue what's Pshat in the Rambam. Is it that it's a real Ne'emonis or it's a Eikad Dover Min HaTeira like Rashi? Because there's two things in the Rambam, Takonis Agunis and Shalei Kpidotei. However, the Ravid learns a different way. The Ravid learns that the reason the lady is Nemon is because if her husband does come, that if her husband comes, she's teitzi mizeh mizeh, she has to leave her husband, the first husband and the second husband. Because they put such strong screws on this, that's why she's Nemon. But the Rambam doesn't mention it. He just mentions the time of Takonis Agunis, or the time that she's really believed. He doesn't mention that it's a reasoning So there is a beautiful Rogat Shover. The Rogat Shover, it's brought down in Mefaneach Tzfunis, Perik Hei Siman Lamed Aleph. It brings down from many places in the Rogat Shover. The Rogat Shover has a Chakin, and it's based on all these machlekes, the Shittas HaPeskim, why we say Eid Echod Nemon B'Misas Habal. Do we say that it's a real Geder of Eidus, that we know for sure that her husband died, we accept it? Or do we say it's a special heter of Bezdin, like Rashi says? It's a special heter mipnei takonis agunis. So there isn't a real birur to say that her husband died. It's just a special afkinu rabbanon l'kiddushim minei. For the sake of marriage, shalei yishar b'nei Yisrael agunis. The Rogat Shover learns that in the Lashon Rambam, even though he mentions takonis agunis, since he mentions Dover Osir Lihigoles, he learns that it's a real birur. And he says in the Machlekes, the Nafkamina will be, if this lady, Rachmana Litzlan, was Mezana, there's a Machlekes in the Gemara, if she's Chayiv, Neshama Zog the Rogat Shover. If you say it's a real birur, you can be minus because of Eishesish. But if you say Afkinu Rabbanon L'Kiddushim Minei, like Rashi says, or like he wants to learn that Ivan says, they gave her a special heter, but there's no ne'emonis. So she was mezana, she's legabi this, she's Eishesish, because she didn't have two eidim that were matir her. Another shaila will be, and it's brought out in the Gemara in Yevomis, If a Bas Kohen was married to Yisrael, she can't eat Truma. If her husband dies, she can eat Truma. If you say it's a Geder Birur, then they were mevared that she's chayzeh to her father and she can eat Truma. But if you say it's a special heter, and it's only given for this, then the lady can't eat Truma. Because the Afkin Rabban L'Kedushim Minei and the special heterim were only given for Nisuin. She shouldn't remain in Aguna. But you don't learn from it for everything. And since the Rambam brings the Arichas Hatam of Dover Osili Yigolis, is mashma that he learns that it's a Geder of Birur, and she's Mamish Apnui. Why does he bring the Indian of Agunis? Because even though Mideirais it's a Birur according to the Rambam, it's a clear thing that her husband died. Nevertheless, Chachomim normally weren't matir it. So that's what the Rambam says in Pnetakonis Agunis. Over the Ravid land, that it's a special din. It's a special din because Ihi Daikyo means it the way the Rambam says. But she's careful. So that's why the Chachomim were mafkia the Kiddushim Minei. And there's a question people ask, why doesn't the Ravid say clearly, Afkin Rabban the Kiddushim Minei? Because there's a shaila the Sheikh Shmaitzer brings, if you say Afkin Rabban the Kiddushim Minei, so the Kiddushim, the first husband is gone, and the Chacham have the Koyach. Why? When her husband comes back, she has to leave both her first husband and her second husband. This we have to say, because the whole reason Afkin Rabban L'Kiddushim Minei was because she's Daiko Minsiva. She's careful. But since her husband came back, she wasn't that careful. So the whole takana goes off. So she married to another husband while she was still married. Therefore, she states in Mizeh or Mizeh. A little haore in these words of the Rambam and the Ravid, based on the Rogachover and the Shev Shmaitzer, we see that the Halacha L'Maaseh, they both hold the same thing. There's a difference in the timing, what Geder it has. There's also a difference in Halacha, the way we brought down the different Gemaras. So the Rebbe to help from Zolzecha Zar V'Schus der Takona Limud Ramba und Limud Halacha L'iyun sich verbinden mit den Rebbe and have koyach in the last moments of Gola Zayt Ala Matzlech.